Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurvetam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantekam. Hare Krishna. So we are studying Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, chapter 12. This is the pastimes involving the liberation of Aghasura. Let me just pull up the page. And we are on 10:12:39. 10, 12. Killing of the Aghasura demon. Sakrid yad anga pratimantarhita mano mayi bhagavatim dadogatim sa eva nityatma sukhanubhutabhi anbhutabhi vyudhastamayo nantorgato kim punaha ikkim punaha. I think that is the melody. I'm not sure exactly. Translation: even only once, or even by force, one brings the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead into one's mind, one can attain supreme salvation by the mercy of Krishna, as Aghasura did. What then is to be said of those whose hearts the Supreme Personality of Godhead enters when he appears as an incarnation, or those who always think of the lotus feet of the Lord, who is the source of all transcendental bliss for all living entities, and by whom all illusion is completely removed. The purport: by his divine grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The process of receiving the favor of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is described here. Yat pada pankaja palas vilasya bhaktya. Simply by thinking of Krishna, one can attain him very easily. Krishna is also described of having his lotus feet always in the hearts of his devotees. Bhagavan Bhakta Shidi Stitaha. In the case of Aghasura, one may argue that he was not a devotee. The answer to this is that he thought of Krishna for a moment with devotion. Bhaktyaham ekaya graha. So just this little point here, that Krishna is described as having his lotus feet always within the hearts of his devotees. So I want to tell just a little short pastime. This is from Garga Samhita. You'll find similar pastimes, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur talks about it as well, that the gopis have leaving and connecting, seeing Krishna in Dwarka and other places. So in Garga Samhita, the beginning of Garga Samhita talks about something we're going to talk about later on, that Krishna is the source of all incarnations. In Garga Samhita, they use this word paripurnatama. There's these different forms of expansions, amsa, amsha, then there's the purna avatars, the purna complete forms, and then there's what is called the paripurnatama. And then Krishna takes this position as he's the supreme purna, the supreme full form. And so the later in the Garga Samhita, there's this pastime where both the gopis, Radharani, she's feeling great distress and separation from Krishna. And so she goes to a place called Siddha Ashram to take a bath in the holy river there. And Krishna and the Yadavas, they also go to Siddha Ashram. And and so Radharani, she's been carried on a palanquin. She has Uh, there's thousands and thousands of gopa guards, and then closer in there is another ring of thousands and thousands of very strong gopi guards, and they all have their sticks. I know if you've ever been to, I don't know if the name of that place, but one of the places in Vrindavan, they have the danda holy, where they have holy with sticks, and the gopis are beating off the gopas. The mans have shields and the gopis have sticks. And my friend's son, he was born there in Vrindavan. He said that's the day that he was, last time I saw him, he was like 8 or 9. And it's what he dreams all year long, to go to attend that holy festival. So the Radharani was there, and she was being surrounded by hundreds and hundreds of very powerful gopis, and she was taking her bath, and the Yadus were trying to come there, and they were being beaten off by these powerful gopis, and they were surprised and frightened by their power. They were frightened. They were like, who is this Radharani? She's so powerful. Who is this? And the queens of Dwarka, they're also there. And so they said, oh, we've heard about Radharani. We want to see this Radharani. Is it really that she is so beautiful, so glorious? Come on. And Satyabhama started to speak. And she said, because of me, Krishna went to Indraloka, and he took the Parijata, the whole tree, took the Parijata tree, and he fought all Indra and all of his associates because of me. And she gave a long list of different aspects of Krishna's pastime, saying that this was due to her strong hold of Krishna, due to her love and devotion, and that many of that bhakti that manifests in her beauty. So she was very proud of her beauty, and she was thinking, oh no, really, is this Radharani that beautiful? And they were discussing like this, and they said, we want to see we want to see this, and they said, well, first there was a question, who is this? Who is this person? And Krishna said, they said, who is she, the daughter of, who is her beloved? And so Krishna says that she is the daughter of Kirti and Rishabhana. She is the queen of Vrindavan, and I'm her beloved. And let's see, I think I have some notes here. 1 second. Yes. And so they went to see Srimati Radharani, and it was 16,108 queens, headed by Satyabhama and Rukmini. And they had this doubt. Yeah, is it? And we've heard this, but is she really that glorious, so beautiful, so wonderful? And so when the queens saw Radharani, when she had come into view from a very far distance, they all started to faint, like in waves, upon seeing her beauty. They all started to faint, and they met very nicely. And Radharani, she spoke some very beautiful words. So here's some of the statements of Radharani. She says, as there is but one moon, but many chakura boards. As there is but one sun, but the eyes are many. So there's one Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna Chandra, but we devotees, my sisters, are many. O queens, as a bumblebee understands the glory of a lotus flowers, as the jeweler understands the glory of jewels, as the scholar understands the glory of knowledge, as a poet understands the glory of poetry. His Holiness Hirananda Maharaj gives us, speaking about poetry, he was glorifying the Srimad Bhagavatam, and he knows a a poet laureate, someone who is understood to be a scholar in poetry. And this poet, he studies poetry in 17 different languages. He's fluent in 17 different languages, Sanskrit being one of them. And he says in that kind of field, you don't have generally statements of absolutes. Like this is the best, this is the most wonderful. And this poet, the scholar of poetry, he has written in one, not just spoken, but it's written in an academic book, that of all poetry, the Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, is the best poetry in the world. And this poet is an atheist, but just examining the amazing intricacy, the beauty, the character of the poetry, the Sanskrit poetry in the Bhagavatam, 10th canto. He says it's the highest form of poetry that exists. Okay. But even if you understand the poetry, according to Radharani's point here, as a poet understands the glory of poetry, as an expert in tasting nectar understands the glory of nectar held by thousands of saintly devotees. So only a devotee of Krishna can understand the glory of Krishna in truth. And so Rukmini says to Radharani, O Radha, O daughter of King Vrishabhanu, you are fortunate. Krishna is conquered by your love. He is under your control. The three worlds glorify Krishna, but Krishna glorifies you. And so the queens of Dwarka go and they serve Radharani, and Rukmini offers her some. They serve Radharani, and they notice, okay, why has not sleep come to their eyes? They're trying to actually first they ask Krishna, why aren't you sleeping? And Krishna says, oh, Radharani, she's not sleeping. She always takes some more milk before she goes to bed. And so Rukmini, she offers Radharani some more milk. Satyabhama offers some betel nut. And then Rukmini goes with the queens to go serve the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. And they notice upon the lotus feet of Krishna is blisters. And they're wondering, why are there blisters all over the feet of Lord Krishna? And he says this point, we hear in the purport, that Radharani always, not even for a second is it missing my lotus feet, holds my lotus feet in her heart. And so they're very amazed by this pastime. So we continue on our reading. So Krishna is as described as having his lotus feet always within the heart of his devotees. In the case of Aghasura, one may argue that he was not a devotee. So the answer to this is that he thought of Krishna for a moment with devotion. Bhaktyaham eka grayaha. Without devotion, one cannot think of Krishna. And conversely, whenever one thinks of Krishna, one undoubtedly has devotion. Although Aghasura's purpose was to kill Krishna, for a moment Aghasura thought of Krishna with devotion. And Krishna and his associates wanted to sport within Aghasura's mouth. Similarly, Putana wanted to kill Krishna by poisoning him. But Krishna took her as his mother because he has accepted the milk of her breast. Many of you know the backstory of Putana. She was described to be either the wife or the sister of Bali Maharaj, and or sister, auntie. There's different accounts. Sometimes you have what is called Kalpa Beta. These pastimes happen in different creation cycles. And so the accounts happen a little slightly different. And when she saw Krishna in this form of Vamana, so adorable, so beautiful, so cute with this umbrella, Reading, if you read Lord Chaitanya's pastime, when he was given his Brahman thread, he was also being referred to as being absolutely adorable, like Vamana. Like yesterday, we got to see the Krishna Kishore's adorable baby. So this Vamana pastime is so adorable. And when this wife of Bali, or sister of Bali Maharaj, she was like, oh my God, I would just, her motherly affection just blossomed. She said, I wish I had him as my child. And then when Bali Maharaj was so-called punished, she became furious, and because of her Daitya blood, her demon blood, she wanted to kill him. And so Krishna gave her a past opportunity to express both those desires. But we saw, what desire did Krishna actually give attention to? Was this a desire of love? So Putana wanted to kill Krishna by poisoning him, but Krishna took her as his mother because he had accepted the milk of her breasts. Swalpamapyasya dharmasya chayate mahato bhaya. Swalpam just means very little, just anything you do, just a little devotion. There's no loss. If you're eating in India and you just want just a little more, swalpam, very little. Especially when Krishna appears as an avatar. Anyone who thinks of Krishna and his different incarnations, Ramadi Murtishu Kala Niyamena Tishtan, especially in his original form of Krishna, attains salvation. So that will be the main subject of this class. We're going to look at some points there. There are many instances of this, among them Agasura, who attained salvation of Surupya Mukti. There is the process of Satatam Kritayantomam Yatantaschadridavrataha. Those who are devotees always engage in glorifying Krishna. Advaitamachuttamanadaminanturupam. When you speak of Krishna, refer to all of his avatars, such as Krishna, Govinda, Narayana, Vishnu, Lord Chaitanya, Krishna Balaram, and Shyama Sundara. One who always thinks of Krishna must attain vimukti, special liberation, as the Lord's personal associate, not necessarily in Vrindavan, but at least in Vaikuntha. This is called Sarupya Mukti. And here, when we say avatar, this is specifically not referring as an expansion. And some of these can be understood as expansions, but it's meaning when the Lord descends, there's actually a special mercy. So Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur, he speaks on this verse, and he says, he brings up a challenge at bhaktya ekagraha. Only by the Lord, only by devotion can the Lord be achieved. And so why is this the case of Agasura? Is he's achieving liberation in contact with Krishna. And so that when Krishna comes as an avatar, a person can attain his abode simply by contact, because there's a huge extra surge of his perfect kripa shakti at that time. And so there's that verse where it says, if one approaches me with lust, anger, greed, affection, oneness, friendship, or devotion, certainly one attains love of that nature. And so there's a special mercy that Krishna, he gives liberation to his enemies. It's a remarkable quality of his completeness. Now, as we mentioned earlier, that they describe the different avatars. And so we have the Lagu Bhagavatamrita by Sanatana Goswami. Lagu Bhagavatamrita, it's detailing these different avatars and different expansions and forms and complete forms and partial amsa forms or amshamsha forms. And there's forms that have that are identical, vilas, all this great, it's all systematized very, very nicely in books like Lagu Bhagavatamrita. And so the last is called the Paravasta forms. Paravasta means that is full and complete. And so there are three Paravasta forms, three main Paravasta forms. And that is Lord Nrsimha, Lord Rama and Lord Krishna. But the question is, okay, if they're complete, the Paravasta means they're complete in all six opulences. They're fully manifested: beauty, wealth, fame, power, opulence. Like I said here, the Shringa is called Parbhav Bhuma, infinitely powerful. Ramachandra is called Madhura Bhuma, infinitely attractive. So this question is brought up. Then what's the difference? What's the difference between Nrsingadev and Krishna? Is there a difference? Is he like is it a lesser form of the Lord? Is it not the Lord? Is it fully Krishna? And for example, when Hiranyakashipu was killed by Nrsingadev, he took birth again as Ravana. And when Ravana was killed by Ram, he took birth again. But when Shishupal was killed by Krishna, he attained salvation, he attained liberation. And so the answer is given that Krishna has a special quality. There's this interesting word. They use the word insinuate, which is usually more of a negative word. But he says Krishna insinuates. It means like he kind of wedges his way into your heart by his special charm. And this is a specific feature of Sri Krishna. Like if you read the Kaliya pastime, the Kaliya pastime, the Kaliya was causing disturbance in Vrindavan. Cows, even the gopas, had passed away by coming in contact with the water that was there. Birds were flying, passing away. Krishna, he revived the cows and the cowherd boys, and he jumped off that diving board kind of branch of the tree there that was preserved with a drop of nectar. You see the tree that's there. The branch looks like a diving board. It's going out very long into where the water would be. So Krishna, he tightens his belts. He jumps into the lake and starts thrashing the water about. And Kaliya comes up. He's very angry. Comes out of the water. And he's so angry. And he goes, "Dang, he's beautiful." He sees Krishna. He's like, "Wow, so beautiful." And so it's Krishna has this very special quality that his very powerful charm enters the heart of anyone who sees it. So let's see. Here's the question. At this point, someone may ask whether Nrsinga, Lord Ramachandra, are equal level to Krishna. To answer this question, let's review how the Vishnu Purana addresses the issue. Maitreya asked the question, after Vishnu killed Hiranyakashipu and later Ravana, the jiva who had taken birth as those demons achieved facilities of material enjoyment even the demigods cannot attain. Why in those circumstances did he not achieve liberation of merging into the eternal Lord Hari, as he did after he took birth as Shishupal, who killed the Lord? So this is Parashara Muni. He answered, to kill the king of the demons, he who is the creator, maintainer, and destroyer of all the worlds, revealed his unparalleled form of Nrsimha. At that time, Hiranyakashipu did not realize that Nrsimha was Vishnu. Thinking that this powerful being had accumulated heaps of extremely pious credits, Hiranyakashipu focused his attention on him, and under the strong impulsion of the motive passion, by concentrating his mind on the Lord in this way, while the Lord killed him, in his next life, he achieved in his next life as the 10-headed Ravana, Hiranyakashipu was only given facilities for material enjoyment that are unequaled in the three worlds. And so this is the commentary by Sanat Goswami. Nrsimha is essentially the same person as Sri Krishna. They're not different in Sarup, our identity, but rather in guna, manifest qualities. When a Vidura stone changes colors, it manifests a quality that it already contains within itself. Similarly, when the personality of Godhead wanted to free the universe from the threat of Hiranyakashipu, he manifested his form as Nrsimha. But if Lord Nrsimha is none other than Krishna, why wasn't Hiranyakashipu liberated when he killed him? Parsha Muni will explain that when Lord Krishna kills a demon, now his is what he said, he insinuates himself into the heart of that particular soul by the charm of his personality, names, and other attractive qualities. Lord Nrsimha, however, does not generally exert this liberating, all-attractive influence on the fallen jivas who encounter him. Then what was Hiranyakashipu's awareness regarding Lord in his form of Nrsimha? He saw him as a powerful living being, like himself, endowed with extraordinary qualities. Why? Because the strong influence of the mode of passion always distorts understanding. Nevertheless, in spite of his bewildered condition, by intensely focusing his attention on this amazing half-man, man-lion, who would kill him with his own hands, Hiranyakashipu gained in his next life wealth and power beyond the demigods. So he did not actually, Hiranyakashipu, in his bewilderment, his mind did not actually take shelter in night with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So there's no more. And Ravana, same thing. Ravana, let's see, it says, although he saw the Lord in his attractive form as the son of Dasarath, he failed to become spiritually attracted to him or realize, here's the infallible Lord. Instead, he conceived him as an ordinary human being and attained diminished results by dying at Lord Achyuta's hands. And next he took birth as Shishupal in the glorious, world-renowned family of the kings of Chedi and enjoyed unimpeded power. There's a lot of information here. This is from the Narayana Tantra. So liberation doesn't come just by seeing the Supreme with ordinary vision. So they conclude, by seeing the Supreme with ordinary vision, one attains the higher planets. But seeing him in the proper way, one attains liberation. Now, what was the mentality of Shishupal? He was constantly absorbed in chanting all of Krishna's various names and his pastimes. We find that he was obsessed in this hatred. He was actually just calling all these different names. Even the goddess of intelligence, the goddess of learning, was causing his speech to be actually explaining different glories of Krishna. As Shishupal found cause to chant the Supreme Lord's names, with his mind absorbed incessantly in the Lord after several lifetimes of hatred, he uttered all of his names to criticize, scold, and otherwise abuse him. Whether Shishupal was walking, eating, bathing, sitting, sleeping, or doing anything else, his deep-seated envy caused his heart and mind to be inescapably absorbed in the image of the Lord's form. When he saw the Lord had eyes perfectly beautiful, as fully blossomed lotus petals, he wore a brilliantly effulgent yellow garment, and that spotlessly beautiful helmet decorated his head, and the ornaments graced his four glorious stout arms, which he had held a conch, disc, club, and lotus. So here's a commentary. When he appears as Sri Krishna Swayamrupa, the Swayamrupa. So what is the Parivasta Sutra of the Bhagavatam? There's a question for our listeners. Parivasta Sutra of Srimad Bhagavatam. It's like the key. You have this key. You can unlock all the wisdom of the Bhagavatam. And it's this very important verse. It's half a verse in the first canto. Ete chamsa sakala pumsha Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. So Krishna, ete chamsa sakala pumsa. This two is very significant. The word two there means, so all these, it's a list of all the avatars. All these avatars come from the pumshas, the purushas, but Krishna is a supreme personality of Godhead. It's like saying you see a limo pull up, and all these men come out, these different limousines come up. They say, all these men are important, but that man is the president. So it's explaining something very exclusive. The Krishna's tu Bhagavan Swayam. So continuing. So when he appears, Krishna, the Swayam Rupa, constantly manifests a specific potency of enchantment that leads to liberation. Thus, Shishupal fully absorbed his mind in Krishna, and when Krishna killed him with his Sudarshan disc, he finally obtained liberation. Krishna's enchantment potency becomes manifest primarily in two ways: through the charm of his names and the beauty of his transcendental body. Out of the water, bang, he's beautiful. Shishupal chanted Krishna's names many times, describing him as Ajaitari, killer of the enemies, Pundrikaksha, O lotus-eyed attractor, as Shangi, O wielder of the Shanga bowl, of Gudra Vahana, as master of his chariot Garuda, and as Vasudev, the son of Vasudev. By the potency of these names, Shishupal became aware that Krishna was Lord Vishnu, his ancient enemy. So hopefully we can also chant with this same great attention and have some realization of Krishna's position, and thus become attracted. His mind was fixed in hatred he harbored for 3 lifetimes, and thus Krishna's names flowed continuously through his heart, and often from his tongue, with condemnation and scorn. Thus he became totally absorbed in this meditation. Attracted by the charm of Krishna's names and bodily form, Shishupal could not remove the image of his beauty from his mind, even for a moment. And so there's a little point here that Shishupal, his liberation was not an impersonal merging, but a connection with the Lord in personal service. And there's some more. This is from more of the commentary in a later verse. Thus, although the 3 paravasta forms, you'll see many times these 3 forms are referred in verses together. It's because they hold a special position. Although these 3 paravasta forms of the Supreme Lord are essentially equal, only the Swayam Rupa, Krishna, always manifests the specific potency required for liberation. Demons killed by Nrsimha and Ramachandra do not generally attain liberation. Therefore, Sri Krishna is more than any other form of God is Bhagavan. He alone intrinsically possesses all perfections. Bhaga is completely fulfilling the significance of the suffix Van. Krishna too, Bhagavan Swayam. He is the original, the ultimate reservoir of everything, and rewards even demons with liberation. But the liberated state attained by those devotees who love him purely is infinitely greater, for he becomes their sold out servant. And we have this prayer, I think it is the Chaitanya Chaitnata Charitamrita Charita, Chaitanya Chandramrita, Chaitanya Chandramrita. And it's describing about Lord Chaitanya. It's because Lord Chaitanya is specifically distributing this love of Godhead. And in the glorification of Chaitanya Chandramrita, he says, it's not at all wonderful that Krishna lifted a mountain with his pinky, what's really shocking, what's really wonderful, is that Lord Chaitanya, Chandra, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Chandra, his Gaura Chandra, is distributing the highest form of love of Godhead to anyone and everyone who chants with love and devotion in Kali Yuga. That's actually shocking, amazing. That is more glorious a pastime than is more shocking that the residents of Kali Yuga, the residents in here and all places around the world, can attain love of Godhead simply by chanting Krishna's name. So, Hari Om Tat Sat. Thanks a lot. Hare Krishna. So, any comments and reflections, questions?
Great class, Nityananda and Chandra Prabhu. Just a quick reflection from your servant, Ananda Bihari Das. I was thinking of Srila Prabhupada when you were making this point about how Lord Chaitanya is distributing this highest knowledge, highest experience so freely. And I was thinking of Srila Prabhupada, how it's so wonderful that he lifted us up with his pinky, lifted us up from our gutter, from our anarthas, this unlimited load of anarthas, so many millions of lifetimes, yet Srila Prabhupada is lifting us up. How wonderful is Srila Prabhupada. Thank you. Prabhu.
Like a huge mountain of
huge mountain
disqualification.
Huge mountain of huge pile of we don't want to say what. Okay, Srila Adipusha Prabhu, the temple room. Do we have any reflections?
Yeah, so, Krishna, so wonderful. Fantastic class. Thank you so much. Beautiful, beautiful. Krishna is so wonderful that he helps everybody, even those that are antagonistic. We know it says that even if people say, oh, those Hare Krishnas, or a demon who says, oh, Krishna is this and Krishna is that, he's actually chanting the holy name. And there's an interesting story about Krishna wrestling with, usually some people don't recognize Krishna as Krishna because he reserves the prerogative not to allow anyone and everyone to see him. That's his option. But inadvertently, a demon who's fighting with Krishna is pleasing the Lord because Krishna likes to fight, right? So Jambavan was fighting with Krishna. They were contesting who was going to have the Chamitaka jewel. And while he was fighting with Krishna, he pleased Krishna to fight, right? And then all of a sudden he recognized Krishna as Krishna, right? Krishna revealed himself because he was happy to be fighting. So it's kind of interesting how Krishna works in wonderful ways to uplift everyone. Thank you so much for that class, though. Well, glory to Prabhupada.
Once we were on Harinam,
Yeah,
and we're in downtown Dallas. It was downtown Dallas late at night, and there was a soapbox preacher. He was standing on a box, and he was saying, he was like Shishupal. He was like, Krishna's the devil, Krishna's blah blah. And he's just like saying Krishna, 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 Krishna. He was just like every other word out of his mouth was Krishna. Saying is Krishna's going to take you to hell. Krishna's the devil. He was standing on the megaphone, and this one little old Mataji ran. I did not agree with her decision. She ran up and socked the guy in the face.
Oh no!
It was a whole scene, and I was like, "What?" He's like, he is making offenses. Like he doesn't even know what he's doing. But he's like, listen to his words. Like every other word is a name of Krishna. It was like, and I've heard people say things like this, but this was like, it was like a Krishna addiction. Like every other word was just Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. It was just like, it was like Shishupal, and he was just chanting like constantly. And to make some offense, he actually has to like know something. He didn't really even know anything. But I just thought it was funny how he was so addicted to chanting. It was like so much.
Years ago, there was a story in the Wall Street Journal, and it was a whole column on the first page, and then another column on the next page, and it was basically critical of the Hare Krishna movement. But we counted 70 times in that article where it said Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Prabhupada like 70 different times. And Prabhupada, even though it was totally critical, Prabhupada said, this is a wonderful article because the holy name is there. And people will benefit by hearing the holy name.
Okay, I have one last thing. So this is in relation to that. So many of you know there's a satirical newspaper called The Onion. You know, even one devotee, he had his own version called The Hing. He had all kind of satirical stories. So this is an article from The Onion, which this would be just in line with that. This is an article from The Onion. So the article is titled Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. And then the byline is Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So here's the article. Washington proclaiming Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. No, Hare Hare. The Hare Krishna has issued a statement this Thursday announcing Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Said the members of the International Society of Krishna Consciousness, adding Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. At press time, the Hare Krishnas went on to state Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. That's the article by The Onion.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu, thank you so much for this wonderful class. I have two questions, if I'm able to. I think I might not have time because they're going to open the ashram soon, but two questions. One is the blisters on Krishna's feet, right? You mentioned that, can you please repeat that? The blisters on Krishna's feet about Radha.
Yeah, she drank hot milk, and where does the milk go down? It goes down, passes by her heart, and she holds Krishna's feet to her heart, and so the hot milk burnt her feet, and Krishna said, see, you offered her milk that was too hot, and it burnt the lotus feet.
Thank you.
And what's the other question?
The question about Nrsimhadev. So Krishna was, so Nrsimhadev is not Krishna. That's what can you please, was that what I was getting?
Oh, he is Krishna. He's just Krishna not revealing all of his the guna or the qualities that he possesses. You know, it's completely Krishna in Swarup, in his actual form, but he is not exhibiting certain aspects of himself.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Haribol.
And is there? Let's see. There was a request for the. Oh, someone shared the link.
Okay, any questions? Temple room. Prabhuji, what's your name? The temple room. What's your name? Yeah, you. Unmute him, Adipusha Prabhu. Okay. All right, there's some technical difficulty. They can hear us. I mean, we can hear them. No problem. I just wanted to reflect, Nityananda Chandra Prabhu, you were talking about how one is inimical to Krishna and Krishna still benefits them. What about those folks who are indifferent to Krishna, who are ignoring Krishna? How does he benefit those folks? We know that if you want to hurt the person, really want to hurt, you just ignore them. You don't say their name, this low stuff. So how does Krishna benefit people like that?
So that's up for so yeyata mam prapadyante, Krishna reciprocates. And so you want to ignore Krishna, then he gives us that distance. If you want to hate Krishna, then Krishna reciprocates by giving us, if you want to fight Krishna, then he reciprocates with a good fight. Therefore, it is up to the devotees to distribute that mercy to those who are ignoring, but in the form of bringing the kirtan outside, and we can hear the holy name and get at least some attraction or aversion, some emotion, connected to Krishna. Get it going. hear that holy name. Otherwise, if they're averse, then yeah, they will just have to stay here. Not averse, but indifferent, and have to stay for many, many lifetimes until there's a distaste that causes them to search for something more substantial than the material experience. So, other than the mercy of the devotees of Krishna, then yeah, if the person is indifferent, then it is the way they get reached out to is through the mercy of the devotees.
Krishna is very patient. Krishna is very patient. He's working in everyone's life. Sometimes he gives people time. This is, by the way, this is Vijay Govinda. He's serving on the Bhakti Center board. He lives in Cincinnati. You couldn't hear us unmuted before he asked about an introduction to this devotee. He has lots of love for Krishna.
Thank you, Adipusha Prabhu, for introducing the devotee. Yeah, if you're indifferent to Krishna, Krishna will send devotees like Nityananda, Chandra, and Harinam, and they'll approach you on Krishna's behalf and benefit you. Thank you, Nityananda Chandra. Great Q&A, great class. You are a natural-born teacher. Yeah, Krishna's calling. If you're not driving, stand up and turn your camera on and read the Lord.
I don't know. Do you know how to turn this on so that they can see the deities? I don't. You don't know. Ankita, can you turn this on so that they can see the deities? Turn that light off over there. Light.
Ankita, good morning. Please mute Adipusha Prabhu and put us on the donation box so that we can see the Lord.
Close as possible.
Jai. Thank you. Thank you, Ankita.
Lotus feet of our spiritual master is the only way to obtain pure devotional service. We bow to the lotus feet with great awe and reverence. Grace when we cross the ocean too.
Okay. Thank you very much, dear devotees. It was a great class. Nityananda Chandra Prabhu, you nailed it. Beautiful class. Very informative. Shastric. Great. Just great. Amrita Kishori Didi, nice seeing you. Yogeshwari, Hare Krishna. Jamuna Jaya. Jamuna Jaya. Pick us up. Lift us up. Oh, you're in the temple room. Okay. All right. Hare Krishna. Rich Bhakti standing up. Nice. This is surrender. Bhakta Will and family, Angel, Suzanne, good to see you. And tune back in tomorrow. Thank you so much. Love you all.